Hello, welcome to the Creators Guild podcast. I'm Chris Howell, and behind the scenes with me,
Jared Lovelady.
And we are here to talk about all things creative. And we have a new guest with us today, author Susan Keene. How are you doing?
Good. Wonderful.
It's great. It's great.
Glad to be here.
And you write your main writing, cozy mysteries, right?
I've written 14 books, and 9 of them are cozy mysteries. And then I wrote a historical, no, that wouldn't be what you call it. I wrote a crime novel that you can't read by yourself.
Okay, what does that mean? You can't read by yourself?
You can't read it with your back. You have to have your back to the wall to read it. That's what they tell me. And I couldn't write it unless I couldn't write it if I had an open window behind me. I had to turn around. It's I don't know where I got that.
Which one is that? Is that the Cletus Compton?
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't read that one yet. It's on my list of ones to read, but I haven't quite gotten there yet.
I don't know. I wanted to work at the Springfield Cardinals. Mm-hmm. I wanted to work there because I wanted to write a book about the inside workings of the Cardinals. But when I got there, I didn't know they were Gestapo. And they put you in a place and you're not allowed to move, nor are you allowed to sit down. I was in the souvenir shop. Mm-hmm. You couldn't sit down. So what I got out of it was a new knee from standing up on concrete all the time. And you had to go to a certain place to eat, and you had a certain amount of time. They give you a coupon, and you'd come back. I never met one player. You weren't allowed to. I mean, if something was going on, they were having a rally, couldn't look at it. And if there was nobody in there, you couldn't sit. And it was just. And then they'd let everybody go, and we wouldn't be done yet. And then you'd be walking out. You know where the stadium is.
Yeah.
You'd be walking out over to that dark parking lot by yourself. I hated it. But I'm not a quitter, so I did it all summer. My point is that every night when I came home, I live out in the country, and every night when I would come home, I'd have to come down this road. One side of it is a field, and the other side of it goes up a hill, and there's a railroad track.
Yeah.
If you turn off the lights on the car,
at night,
you can't see anything. And I'm not kidding. You can't see your hand in front of your face. So every night when I went to bed for 2 weeks, I had this dream. Well, it's a nightmare. That I was driving down that road and I saw something by the side of the road. And I stopped and turned my car around so that the lights were hitting it. And it was a kid in a box, chained to a box.
Like a
child.
But like a crate.
Crate, right.
Box. Gotcha.
Right. So I had this dream every night for 2 weeks. I told my family, I said, if I had this dream this one more time, I'm going to get up and I'm going to write it all down. Well, I wrote that book in 3 days because when I got started, It woke me up about 3 o'clock in the morning. And when I got started, it just kept coming and coming and coming. Mm-hmm. But I couldn't let him molest kids. I'm not that kind of a...
Yeah.
I don't want...
Reality happens, but I don't
want to associate my books with too much reality.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a killer, and he was horrible, but what he did was he trolled supermarkets and he trolled malls. And if he saw somebody not taking care of their kid, say, for instance, he's eating lunch and there's a woman there and she's got a kid and she's not watching him, he sticks the kid.
Yeah. And
so then they'd get a lot of publicity and mom and dad cry on TV and everything. And then he'd give the kid back. He'd just drop the kid off maybe 2 miles from the house.
Just randomly.
Right. But then things started happening. Some of them got measles. Some of them died of frost. I mean, froze to death. And he had no empathy.
Yeah. No remorse.
Yeah. You know the difference between a sociopath and a psychopath.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he was a psychopath.
Okay.
And his brother was a sociopath. And if it weren't for his brother, they'd all been dead. But anyway, I had him have a cross-country chase with the FBI and everything. It was really kind of a fun book to write. Then I found out there's a place called Compton, California. So I get this email, and it says, hi, it's a long time ago, so I can't remember. I'm the mayor of Compton, California. He said, we just wanted to tell you that when a release date on your book because we're going to have Cletus Compton Day out here.
Yeah.
So then I found out it's really rough. It's where those ice people are picking up people.
Yeah, Compton is.
Compton's horrible.
I mean, that's where the whole thing, straight out of Compton, everything
Right.
that saying comes from.
Yeah. So it was just kind of a fluke. I don't write like that, you know. In my first book, I wrote on a 10-year plan.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I mean, I've read your Kate Nash books.
Yeah.
I read the first one of the bakery, the
Arizona Summers.
yeah.
I did that as a play on words, so you wouldn't know if it was Summers in Arizona or her name was Arizona Summers.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just do stuff like that. I don't know.
But
But-
like those, they're dealing with murder mystery, but it's cozy stuff. So
Well, yeah,
very different from
Cozies, there's not any blood on the page ever, and there's no sex on the page. You can have them wake up and both get out of the bed together and go sit on each side and do, and put their shoes on and stuff, but you can't
Yeah.
have any sex in it, because people who read those are really fans. I mean, they follow every one of it.
Yeah.
And if I do something wrong, like if I say they've got one kind of gun and then the next I say they had a different kind of gun, I get an email.
Yeah.
So they really watch it. And I like that I have people who follow me.
Yeah.
Wish I had more.
So which did you write first? What did you start with?
On the series,
Just in general, when you first started writing, what was?
I wrote a book called Tattered Wings about a kid who he was a serial killer. Obviously not a cozy mystery. But the things that they did to this kid, I put in the book. And the reason I did was because the kid lives down the street from us, and they actually did stuff like that to him. I'm not going to repeat any of it right here, but, well, for instance, if he ate a cigarette butt, they'd go, look at a kid eat that cigarette butt. Stuff.
Yeah.
And she locked him out of the house during the day, so the house would be clean when their dad got home. Stuff like that. It was horrible. And so I started writing this book, and they get out of hand. I mean, in my opinion, I don't know if it's being a good writer or if it's being creative, but once I get started and I create somebody, then they take over.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always go the way I want it, that I thought it would go, because after a while I think, well, that person wouldn't do that. And so the books don't turn out exactly the way I think they're going to.
Yeah. In our writing, we've had like pulled in, created entirely new characters because of that.
Yeah.
Where the main character or even like a side character, they take on the roles of who they become. And then you're like, okay, this thing is going to go in this direction. You're like, yeah, but we have these two people. Neither of them would do that.
Right. So you have to create somebody else.
But they're going to go over here. How do we get them over there?
Yeah.
Because that's the next step.
Right.
And then it's like, well, here comes Billy, And
Yeah.
Billy would do that, and they would follow Billy.
I wrote Kate Nash, and I didn't know it was a cozy mystery, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
And it got picked up by Black Opal Books out of Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
And when they got it all done and they released it as cozy mystery. I thought, well, I better figure out what those are, because I didn't realize that's what I had written was cozy mystery. Yeah. So I read all up on it, and I thought, it's pretty good. But
because Kate Nash it's
a cozy, but it's more.
It's a cozy, but it's more. It could fall easily into the genre of just a detective.
Right. It's more serious.
Yeah.
And I wanted something lighter, so I wrote Arizona Summers.
Yeah. Because Arizona Summers, a lot of cozy mysteries, the person who's the main character isn't the detective. There are.
Well,
like they're not the one. And I guess Kate Nash is a former detective, and
right. But I'm telling you, I had no idea that they would call that a cozy mystery. So I thought, well, I better get busy on this.
Yeah.
And then the other reason I started Arizona Summers, I got bored with them. I didn't know what they're going to do next.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to have them do. they got harder to write. So I started Arizona Summers, and it's a hoot to write, you know, because I let that mother-in-law do anything she wants to do.
Yeah.
You know, she has poker games up, you know, high stakes poker games up in her apartment. You're not supposed to do that. Gets arrested, all kinds of things. And she's funny. And I like her. I like writing those characters. I'm writing while I'm waiting for my new book, get back from the editor, I'm writing a new Kate Nash mystery where the police chief is accused of murder.
Now, with writing the Kate Nash books versus writing Arizona Summers, after having written some of the Arizona Summers books, and now you're going back to writing Kate Nash, are you finding any bleed over?
Oh no!
Where you're like, oh nope, that's Arizona type writing that doesn't fit Kate Nash.
The only thing that these people have in common is that they're both messy.
But the writing style itself, because there is some difference. If you read Kate Nash and you read the what is it, the Wedding Cake Murders?
Yeah, I get in a different mood. I mean, it's just a mood thing.
Gotcha.
You have to be more serious to write Kate Nash because I mean they really get into some murder mysteries.
Do you have a different hat or anything that you put on?
No.
Or you're like, wait a minute, I need to get into Arizona Summers mode. So I'm going to go in the kitchen. I'm going to bake a cake. I'm going to dump some flour on myself. And then I'm going to go write a story.
You know what's really bad is I did Arizona Summers for one reason because cookbooks are so popular.
Yeah.
And I was going to make sure that she had contests and did all kinds of things and then have recipes at the end of every book. Well, I got so far in the mysteries, the last one I wrote, I forgot to put them in. So this time she's, I'll have it back in there, but I just got excited about the book. I think what the name of it was.
That's the last one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because I haven't read. I was looking this up.
Mother's Miracles and Mistletoe.
Yeah, Mother's Miracle. Yes.
Yeah.
That's because you've got 4 of those, and I have them up on my phone because I read the Wedding Cake Murder, but then your other ones, so High Stakes Murder, Bonfires, Barbecues, and Bodies, and then the latest one, Mother's Miracles and Mistletoe. The other 3 weren't out when I listened to the first one.
Oh, really?
And then I haven't gone back yet and gotten the other 3. Because I started with the Wedding Cake Murder, and then I went to Kate Nash.
I don't care what anybody says, the first book in your series is always the best. It's fresh, and you have new ideas for the people. My biggest problem is I can't remember who did what.
Yeah.
And I have to get the book out and have the last book out and have it next to me.
Yeah,
to see what I did. And you'd think if you wrote a book,
you'd think
if you wrote a book and you did all that you'd at least remember who the characters were.
Yeah.
But I wonder, and the reason Arizona Summers is in a resort town, it's a combination of St. Charles, Missouri, and Branson. I put the 2 together, and I called the main drag the boardwalk, and everything happens on the boardwalk. But it's a little town of 2,300, and then from Memorial Day to Labor Day, there's 8,000 people there.
Yeah. So
then I can kill somebody, and it's fine because I didn't get rid of anybody in my own group.
Yeah.
That's what sunk. What's her name? Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah. She had to start going places.
Yeah, they kept sending her out of town
all in
because
the same town.
The crime rate in that town was higher than the crime rate in China the first 2 years because of how many people they killed in town.
Yeah.
But did you notice when she went somewhere, she had the same doctor, the same chief of police, and
Yeah.
it's still the most popular one though.
Yeah. Well, that's like what is it? In a lot of Stephen King books, the town of Derry, Maine. And I'm like, this is a pretty small town. You got it that shows up and murders people, or you got there's all these things. They all center kind of around. I'm like,
he's a brilliant man. One of the best books I ever read on writing was Stephen King on writing. Have you read that?
I haven't read that. I've heard some interviews and heard him talk about it a little bit, and I've heard other people talk about it, but I haven't read it yet.
He's just doing what we're doing. He sits down and talks,
Yeah.
and it's not necessarily do this and then do this and then do this. It's not none of that.
Yeah.
He says if you have 3 words that you can't get off your mind, or just one little idea, you can't get it off your mind for 2 weeks, it's a book.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much how I am. The oddest things impress me, and then I write a book about them.
Well, ask Jared, how many times do you get phone calls or text messages?
Constantly. Always getting calls. I had this idea, and I got to get it out. And then
You tell them to write a book? People think they can't write a book, and they can.
Yeah.
I think anybody could.
It's like the cartoon, the movie Ratatouille, where the chef that the little mouse follows, he writes the book. Everyone can cook, or anybody can cook, something like that. And the bad guy of the show is the restaurant critiquer.
Yeah,
And he's like, oh, everybody can't cook. And it's like, well, no, everybody can.
I think writing a book is 10% talent, 90% luck.
Yeah.
If it's a success, it's 90% luck and 10% talent that you sat down and did it.
Yeah.
But I know people who are much worse writers than me, and some that are much better than me, and it just depends on where you are at that time. If you're lucky enough, you go on through.
Yeah.
And that's just what I think.
Well, then some people might call it fantasy fiction. I don't know. But the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Mm-hmm.
So that guy who wrote that book, he wrote the book, and he had somebody come and review the book and was talking to him about it. And they were like trying to get him to change a bunch of stuff and rewrite it to make the writing better. And then he was like, wait a minute. He's like, you're not here to help me write a good book. I have you here because I need you to sell this book.
Right.
And he's sold, I don't know how many millions of copies, and they've done rewrites and stuff like that. And of course, it's a specific thing that talking about finances and whatnot. But that's a takeaway that for anybody is.
I can't remember who the famous guy was that put all the books in the back of his car and took them all over and sold them out of the back of his car until it caught on, and then he became. I wish I could remember who it was.
I don't know. We should do that.
Yeah.
And look up who it is. But he became a famous writer. This new book that I'm excited about is Buried in Time.
It's a single book, a novel.
Oh, no, it's going to be a series.
It's going to be a series. And Buried in Time is the series name or the first book name? No,
just the first book name. It's going to be the Arizona or the Alexa Ford novels. Okay. Alexa Ford mystery series. Alexa Ford mystery series.
But it's kind of...
It's mystic.
I was going to say, it's not quite sci-fi, but kind of in that...
Like my editor says. She said, I know you're trying to be mystic. She said, but sometimes you'll go right along, it'll just be going great, and then you'll say something that's just 100% science fiction. Yeah. She said, and then I have to figure out what can I put in here that's mystic without changing her voice. Yeah. And I don't know enough about mystic and science fiction to know which ones I did wrong. So she doesn't change it. She just says, this is science fiction. This or this would be better. Gotcha. And then I fix it the way, whichever one I think. But she line it. It's pretty good.
But it would be mystical. It would be mystic along the lines of like, if you wrote something on voodoo magic, something with like a.
Well, what happens without
Louisiana
giving it a
bayou voodoo type stuff, where you're like, wait a minute, is it really mystic? Is it? There's a lot of haywire stuff that happens. Maybe there's an explanation for this. Not really sure.
I've never been as excited about a book as I am this one. In 1929, this girl who's from rich family. They're from Seymour. Okay. And they're from a rich family. And her dad bought her mother a ring for the 25th wedding anniversary. And it used to belong to Catherine V of France. And she begs and begs to wear that to her senior party. And they let her do it. She leaves for the party. She's never seen again. The ring's never seen again. That's in 1929. And then my girl gets hired by somebody who bought that land. And he heard that the Trail of Tears went through it and that the Old Wire Road went through it. You know what the Old Wire Road is? The Old Wire Road is the first telegraph.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And it went from Jefferson Barracks to Little Rock.
Yeah.
I think it's Little Rock. It could be Hot Springs. I think it's Little Rock.
Somewhere south of here.
And he hires her. She's famous anyway, and he hires her to metal detect this whole thing because he doesn't want to sell it if there's all these relics there.
Mm-hmm.
And so the first thing she does, first 5 minutes she's there, is she digs up that ring. And so she digs up the ring, and she realizes the ring. So she takes it to her mentor. We're not getting into it past this. This is the first chapter.
Yeah.
She gets in, she picks the ring up, and she takes it to Professor Thompson, who's been her mentor, and she's gone all over different places with him at archaeological hunts and stuff in Peru and different places. And she really respects his opinion, but there's been thousands of pictures of this ring because of where it happened. You know, a little town of 400 people.
Yeah.
This big ring.
Yeah, be all kinds of historical stuff around it.
So she takes the ring for him to see, and he wants to keep it. But she won't let him because when she picks it up, the girl's in the ring talking to her. And she says, well, I can't give the ring up because it's going to end up in his safe, and then the police are going to get it, and I'm never going to know what happened to this girl. So there were bones with it, so she gave him the bones, and she slipped the ring in her pocket. Well, then the next morning, she goes over there to pick him up. He wants to go with her to the dig, and he's been brutally killed. And that's all I'm going to tell you. But I think it's a good book.
Yeah.
I'm not usually, I don't always like what I write, but I like this one, so it's probably not any good. Might not be, but I usually am not that excited about what I write.
Yeah. So what you said, this one is being written right now, or this one,
No,
the
it's
first
written.
one's with the editor right now?
It's written. My editor is Jennifer Darnell, and she is from the University of North Carolina, and she has it. She's had it 3 weeks. I wasn't going to bother her about it. I finally said, how long is this going to be? And then she told me the storms are going through, and she hasn't had electricity every day for, it goes out some part of every day. And she had like 3 weeks off, and she was going to do it, but it didn't work out that way. She thinks she's going to have it done by Friday.
Could you tell her, I don't know what the problem, like, I don't know that you need electricity to read my book.
No, she's doing it on, she's doing it on track changes. She kind of have electricity. She's doing it on track changes. So she's a good editor. And she's also reads my books. She reads the Kate Nash series, and she reads the Arizona Summers series.
Oh, the audio book.
Yeah, she reads the audio books.
Okay.
I like her voice.
I know her voice then.
Yeah, that's her. She's very good. And actually, she was at Between the Pages last year, and not last year, the year before, and talked about, in case anybody wanted to get into it. So anyways, I like her.
Yeah. So do you have any kind of timeline at the moment for that you're shooting for to try to release that one?
As soon as I get it back and I start I start doing my edits, fixing what was wrong.
Yeah.
Then I want to release the cover and put it on pre-order.
Gotcha.
But this time, if I can afford it, I would like to hire somebody to promote it, because I think it's a good book.
Yeah.
I just think it is. It might not be, but it's hard to judge your own work, I think. I mean, I have some friends that are like, hey, I wrote this, I'm great.
Yeah.
I can't do that because I'm not really sure if I'm great or not. If I'm any good or not. But I do like this book a lot.
Well,
And
that's something Jared and I have talked about is we'll go back and we'll reread something we've written, but chapter he might have written or something I might have written, and we'll read back through it and be like, we may not have picked it up in a while, or chapters we might not have gone back to in a while, or whatnot, And you get so focused on the writing and the editing and the nuance and stuff, but then you just go back and read, and then you're like, wow,
yeah,
hey, I wrote this.
yeah.
Like,
where did that come from? And that's why you can't get a real big head about it because it's a God-given gift.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't get it. It just comes out of the air, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm brilliant. I did this, but my dad wrote a newspaper column every day, and that's so fun. He would write about my sister and brother and I. He wrote newsy stories, kind of like Dave Barry, only a littler town.
mhm.
And like I had a date one night, and my boyfriend kissed me goodnight on the front porch, and I leaned back, and the doorbell rang. And he told my mother, if that doorbell rings one more time, I'm going out there. Well, that ended up in the paper the next day. And my sister and brother and I used to run for the paper. And if they talked about me, I didn't want to go.
Yeah.
He talked about
Like, I can't go to school.
Yeah. He wrote once about how big my feet are. There was nothing, he's no shame. But I mean, that's not what he did for a living, but he had quite a following, so they kept him. He started out writing to the editor.
Just doing like a
To
letters to the
letter
editor type
and
thing.
then they gave him a byline, then they put his picture in every day, and started
Nice.
paying him.
Every day. That's where I think
Yeah.
the difficulty would
Well-
be is coming up with something like that every day to put in a newspaper that it's
I have
coming out in
trouble
the morning.
coming up with 1,000 words every day. I don't 1,000 words, but I really do enjoy teaching other people how to write.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of. I like getting with people who I call it riffing. Someone who has an idea for a story, and my hope is I can help prompt them or inspire them to continue writing and do whatever. But maybe they're like, well, I kind of have this idea, and then I like being like, all right, well, let's dive into that and see if
Yeah.
we can find all the potential directions or a bunch of different directions the story could go.
Whenever I teach how to write a book class, I usually do it in like 10 parts,
Mhm.
and how to create conflict, how to make characters people like,
Yeah.
or make them look real. And they say, well, I want a character. Her books are character written or character
Character driven.
driven. And I'm thinking, it doesn't matter how good your plot line is if nobody likes your characters.
Yeah.
So every time somebody says that, well, she's great, she's character driven, and I'm thinking
Shouldn't that kind of be?
that's kind of what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be character driven. It doesn't matter what your plot is if your people are stiff.
Yeah. So I think that's the big. I'm like, because I think you could write a story that everybody hates the person so much that they got to keep reading to see what's going to happen.
No, that's Cletus Compton.
But
You can't like Cletus Compton.
yeah, but you can't have characters that are flat and
Right.
boring. That's the big thing. That whether you connect with them on a level, you have to have some kind of emotional tie there.
Right.
You love them, you empathize with them, you hate them, you despise them.
Right, but
the
they have to be-
stronger emotion you can evoke, the better.
They have to be real people.
Yeah.
And like I gave a talk one time, and you can only have so many handsome men, square jaws, and heaving bosoms.
Yeah.
You can only have so many of those. In a library, you've got to come up with something else.
Yeah.
And I don't know, but I enjoy what I do.
So shifting. I the one with the ring. It would fall under kind of that, or it has that the mystical element to it.
But it still has all the elements of cozy mystery.
Yeah, because you still have. I mean, you've got the professor,
Right.
and then even the girl. What happened with her? So you have these. There's still investigation that has to happen.
See, and I already know what I'm going to do down the line because I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
Like these people are going to have a gold mine in Colorado, and they want to make it into a amusement park.
Mm-hmm.
And they hire her to go down in the mine and make sure everything's safe. And she picks up this lantern that hadn't been picked up in 3 years, or 30 years, 100 years. She picks it up and it comes on. She sets it down and it goes off. And so that's going to be my mystic thing in that book.
Yeah.
Unless somebody decides that's a good idea. But I have several of those that I think would be good.
Yeah.
But I don't want you can't have a ring in every one. And there was just the easiest one to start with.
Yeah.
A piece of jewelry, because there's so many things about.
Do you know
jewelry.
how many books there are going to be at the moment? I mean, I know that might change over time, but
I want to write at least 5 in each series, but I'm thinking I need to go back and right now I'm writing another Arizona Summers. Then I need to write another Kate Nash. I think there's 5 in Kate Nash and 4 in Arizona Summers. So I'm catching up.
yeah.
I'm catching up with Arizona Summers. And then I'll write a Kate Nash. And I'll write the next book in this one. But I can write one book one day and work on the other one the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I get bored.
Do you find that helps if you have multiple books going and you go back and forth
No.
to not get stuck, or is it more difficult?
My only problem with writing is I can't remember who did what in the book before. And I don't think that's just me.
No.
I think that's everybody. I think that's everybody, because you can sit down there and I do believe that we get in zones and you're zoned out and you're writing and you don't realize how good it is what you're writing or how bad it is. But I also think that later when you read it, and like you said, boy, that's really good. You also don't remember that you wrote that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. If you
Sometimes
think
I'm
about
real
it.
impressed with myself. I wrote that. But, and then other times.
Yeah. I mean, when you think like all these words, all the characters, everything they do came out of my brain.
Right.
I invented them. Every word they've said was a word that I created for them to say. And then you go back and you're like, okay, I'm in chapter 10 and the character's going to do blah, 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 blah. And you're like, wait a minute. Did they do something? Okay, I got to go. Where was it? Chapter 2? No, it wasn't chapter 2. Okay, I got to read 4 chapters through to find, okay, here's the part that connects to this in chapter 10. And I forgot what I had him do back there. And I have to, like, if I change it, it's going to have this discontinuity in the story.
Right.
And it's all going to be crap.
Well, what I do is I write a chapter and then I pick out the high points of that chapter and I write a 1-page synopsis of it. And then chapter 2, I do the same thing, chapter 3. So then if I want to know something, I just have to go back and read 1 page. Now that's after I have killed myself trying to go back and find things. So it took me 3 or 4 books to figure out to do that, which I would think it would be a no-brainer, but it isn't. And I'd write down like who this person was and who that person was and what they did. Because when you take a person out of the clear blue sky and you make him a name and you have him kill somebody, you can't remember exactly what he looked like or what he did or what his mannerisms are. And those are the things that make the book.
Yeah.
So I try to write that in 1 page.
Yeah.
So I have a little notebook for every book I written.
It's just like what we were saying earlier with, well, would the character do that?
Right.
Even if they're a side character, if they play a part in the story, anything they do, anything they say, any actions they take, still have to align to their character.
Don't you agree
You're
that?
like,
Don't you agree that when you start, when you start, well, I'm a pantser. I just sit down and write. I don't know when I start the book how it's going to end or how the story's going to go. I don't know. I just have an idea, like that terrible woman that came to town, and she was such a witch, and they find her floating in the lake.
Yeah.
You know, that's all I knew that I wanted to do there was kill somebody. So I did, and I didn't know who killed her or anything until like last page, or, until I got to that point.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, who could have done this? So it's kind of fun. It's like put a puzzle together.
Yeah. Oh, you just get to the end. That's one of the things. So we talked a little bit before we started recording. We were talking a little bit about Stephen King.
Right.
One of the things with Stephen King's stories, and I've mentioned this before on the podcast, but we haven't had this conversation before, is some of Stephen King's books, you get to the end and it feels like, well, because aliens, or because of some fantasy, some mystic thing.
Right.
And you're like, wait a minute, that like didn't really go along with the book, with like The Stand. You read The Stand and all this complexity and everything, and then you get to the end, it's like, oh, well, there's some kind of like supernatural thing with the bad guy and whatnot, and you're like, wait a second.
Yeah.
This
He
did he know where he was going? I feel like he didn't know where
no,
he
he
was
didn't know where he was
going.
going. And
And
then he said, I'm going to get this book out. My publisher wants it. My publisher wants this book, and if I don't get it out, I'm going to lose my place in line, and then I'm going to have to get behind James Michener or
whoever.
Michael Crichton or somebody, and then I'm going to be out of line. So he just finishes them. But he writes everything out in longhand.
Yeah.
Wow.
Have you ever seen a picture of him when he's writing? He's sitting in a very, very comfortable chair with a little table in front of him. It's higher, and he's got his feet propped up on that table and a yellow pad in his hand, and he writes everything out.
Just puts it on his lap. And
which you could do if you had somebody, a secretary.
Yeah.
Which I don't,
Yeah.
I have to pick it through myself.
I can't imagine all the changes and edits, as I'm going. I can't imagine writing.
Yeah.
My writing would be very different, I think.
Well, see, I'm dyslexic, so I have a problem with certain words, was and saw. I always have to have that little girl or the reader thing read me the chapter I just wrote, because I might have wanted to say was, but I wrote saw. It's just simple things that I do.
Yeah.
I can look at a phone number and I know what it says. I can actually tell you what that says. But when I start to say it, it didn't come out right.
Yeah.
And I have to say, wait a minute. And then I try it again. And by the third or fourth time, I got the number right. But it's just something I can tell I'm getting old, because when I was younger, I had a terrible time. And until I was about 40, I didn't have much trouble with it. And then it started getting jumbled again.
Yeah.
It's just, there's 500 kinds of dyslexia.
I don't
Sorry,
know.
my phone keeps going on.
Yeah.
There's got to be at least 500 kinds.
Yeah.
But I get a kick out of, you ever read Trent? What's his name?
Trent.
Will Trent?
Will Trent.
Karen Slaughter books?
I haven't heard of that one.
Okay, well, he's supposed to be dyslexic, and they have a series, and he has to do everything with a microphone because he can't read anything. He can't read, according to him. And they'll show it, and they'll show this page just all. And I'm thinking, whoever did that didn't know what dyslexia is.
Yeah.
They didn't know. But the books are kind of, the story's a little disappointing, because in the books, he's a tall, good-looking blonde, and in the one on TV, he's not all big and muscular, and he's dark-headed.
Yeah, they had Tom Cruise play Jack Reacher in the movies.
Yeah, the same thing. Short
and then
guy.
they went to the series, and they're like, no. Tom Cruise is great actor. He's not Jack Reacher.
Right.
So,
but it's just, I don't know. It's all personal opinion, but I still think I can read a book and come up with an idea that has nothing to do with that book, but it came out of that book.
yeah.
but it has nothing to do with it. It might be 4 words or something that I thought, man, wouldn't that be neat if he'd have done this? And then I go do that, so.
I think that's where, like, when I'll call Jared or my sister, I'll call my sister, and they're the two, and my brother Caleb. Those 3 are the bounce my ideas off of people.
Yeah.
And I listen to a lot of audiobooks because I'm in the car a lot. So
That's
I'm like, well, I'll just have something playing, and then I'll be listening to the story while I'm driving, and then I got to hit pause and be like, call Jared, be like, all right, Jared, I just had this thing pop into my head. Here's the story idea.
See, I get obsessed with somebody. Like I got obsessed with the Pendergast series.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know the name.
Okay, it's written by.
Well, we talked about it before.
Yeah,
That's
it's
where I
written
heard it
by
before.
Preston. Let's see, Richard Preston. I don't know his first name. David Preston and Lincoln Child. And it's about this FBI agent who's an albino,
Mm-hmm.
who's filthy rich, and if he wants to exhume a body and they won't put the money out, he just does it himself.
Yeah.
And he gets on these fantastic things that couldn't possibly ever happen to anybody, and they could never live through. And a lot of it's supernatural. And I had to read all of those. I read every one of those. And then they have another series I couldn't get through. And then I read all the C.J. Box books because I like Will Pickett. Pickett. Isn't his name Will?
I'm not sure.
Will Pickett.
I don't know that one.
He's a game warden in Montana. And I don't know, for some reason I like him. I'm listening to one now. And I have one on hold.
Yes.
I just like him. I don't like slow, too
Drawn
much.
out.
Well, too much description ruins a book, I think.
Well, we write high fantasy, so
Yeah.
there's a lot of description.
Yeah, but it's high fantasies, fast moving, and some of these books, it takes them 3 scenes to drink a glass of wine.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah, we're not that slow from a description perspective, but we try to suck people into the world.
Yeah,
that we're in.
you're a world creator. See, I've never created a world. Even my new book, I'm taking a world that's already there. I'm not a world builder.
Yeah.
I'm a people builder. I can build people.
Yeah.
But a lot of my people are 5 or 6 of my friends put together. Either their worst habits or their best.
I was gonna say, who's
No,
are you like
I can't do that.
like I think I'm that person over there, that friend, that's Clayton Compton.
Him? No,
No, I mean I'm saying like you're like,
no. I didn't know anybody. I don't know anybody like that. And I'm not an evil person. I don't know how I came up with that.
we've said the same thing. So
But this guy stabs and kills, and
one of our characters in book 1, his name is Teth, and he goes in part of our book he's part of a duo that are going to kill some people,
yeah,
and the other guy with him is like really put off by Teth, because like the smell that's with him, the way he acts, and then like in one of the scenes, he's in they're hiding out in a cave. And while the one guy's taking care of his horse and then he sits down to eat, he hears Teth talking and he looks up and Teth has a leather pouch a leather roll that he's rolled out, and he's got all these different knives, different size and knives in this leather roll. And he's talking to him and he's talking about how he's going to make people sing. He's going to use they're his babies. They're his little, and he talks to them, and they're going to help him make people sing.
and then you guys are sane, right?
That's what I'm saying. Then we write a chapter from his perspective. So we got to write from inside the head of Teth, and he's talking to people about making them sing.
It sounds cool.
And we're
I'm gonna
like,
have to read it.
And I'm like, Jared, is there something wrong with us? No.
See, romance used to be number 1, but world building and those kind of books are becoming.
I think stuff ebbs and flows.
Yeah, it's like cozy mysteries where there's a cat that can solve a mystery, those are real popular.
Yeah.
I have a dog in every one of my books.
Yeah. I think a lot of that stuff, like when you say like what's big in the market right now, like, well,
Today.
yeah, today, but also like what's popular as far as what's mostly in front of people. But if you look over time at sales, I think like the underlying thing is it depends on the circles that you run in.
Right.
What's popular in society in general is, we have like MCU, the Marvel universe, that from movies is everything Marvel.
I love Marvel movies.
But then
Do
you
you like
have
Marvel
like,
movies?
yeah,
I do too.
but then you have like all these other movies that people are still watching the whole time.
Yeah.
And you go all the way back to, go back to the 60s, 70s, you get Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew, and so, like they were popular at the same time people were reading Lord of the Rings and watching Star Wars.
Right.
I think a big part of it is there's stuff that's in the forefront societally, but all those groups just, if you get in the right circle, everything's fantasy. You go to another circle, everything's cozy mystery.
I get amazed at how many people don't read.
That is
just
the bigger surprise.
amazes me. It amazes me.
And that group is very big.
I was at a book signing, and this lady walked up, really nice looking, well dressed lady, and she walks up to me and she said, "I love your covers. If I read, I'd read those books."
Yeah.
And but I haven't read a book since high school. And she said that like it was a good thing.
Yeah.
She hadn't read a book. And I thought, well, I just don't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had more than one person, like at the con we were just at a couple months ago, oh, that looks really interesting. If I read, I would. And it's like, well, read.
Yeah.
I try to get my opinions in my books too, as gently as I can. Things that I think are absolutely right or absolutely wrong.
Yeah.
I don't shove it down anybody's throat, but I do get it in there.
How much of yourself, this is a cover, we've had this with different people. How much of yourself do you think ends up in your books?
5% maybe, because I usually write it based on other people.
Okay.
My problem now is two of the books I wrote were not first person. I've written in first person so long that I have a hard time trying to write any other way.
Yeah.
And there are times, like I was going to do this new book where Lexi Ford was in first person, everybody else was in third person.
Mm-hmm.
And I've written in first person so long I can't do it. I'm going to have to take a lesson how to write it again. I need to just write something for myself that's written omnificent. Let's see if I
Do
can
you
it.
find if you're reading something or listening to something, that it has an impact on your writing when you're trying to write? If you get like a certain style or certain...
I think things stick with me, and I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Like I'll listen to something, I think, boy, that's cool. But I don't think I use it because plagiarism's a big thing. I don't think I use any of it.
Well, I mean, I listened to a book and I was like, I am going to finish it because I said I would. But I shared some with Jared. I shared some with a few different people. I'm like, this is the worst book that I think I've ever read. Listen to. Like the narrator was fine. I'm like, this is the worst written book that's probably ever been written, in my opinion. But I made myself finish it and then I was like, Jared, I think I'm starting to write like that book because I made myself listen to it, and I think it's messed me up. Everything I type, I'm like, this is horrible. This is like I have to read something else to get this out of my brain.
I'm always impressed about or surprised at how many good books there are out there. There's very seldom I get a book that I don't like.
Yeah.
But when I get one, by the time I get to chapter 3 or 4, if I don't care what happens to people, I'm done.
Yeah.
I was reading one the other day, or listening to one, and about the third chapter, I thought, I don't care if he lives or dies, and so I sent it back to the library because, you know,
Yeah.
if your characters are so stilted that, you know, I just don't like it.
Yeah.
But I love to read. I'm not much of a TV watcher. I would rather read. There are about 4 programs I like, but that's about it.
Yeah. What
And
about, did you ever watch The Invention of Lying,
No,
that movie with Ricky Gervais, the comedian?
no.
So in that movie, nobody can, like, lying doesn't exist. People commit crimes and things, but then if they're asked, like, oh, did you do it? And they're like, yeah. Like,
Oh my
people,
God, that
nobody
would be hard.
knows.
That's a hard concept.
Yeah. The whole the whole thing is nobody can lie. Nobody, the entire concept of saying something that isn't true,
Oh my
like, doesn't
goodness.
exist in this world. And so acting is people pretending to be something, and so they're not telling the truth because you can't pretend, you know, you're being deceptive.
Right.
Acting is deceiving people into believing you are that character. So that doesn't exist. So their entertainment, television exists, but their television is like
It's all documentaries.
yeah. And it's all documentaries. It's got, like, Rob Lowe has a history thing, and he's just reading. And it's the camera's him sitting in a chair reading. And that's it. So maybe that could be, would you watch more television if it was Rob Lowe reading a book to you?
I like the new one. Can't think of her name. She was in where she beat the author. What book was that?
Beat the author?
Broke his feet.
Oh, Misery.
Misery. She's got a
Yeah, Kathy
series
Bates.
out. Kathy Bates. I love that series, and I like the one Elsbeth.
So Kathy Bates, the actress, has a series out.
Yeah, it's called. I have no idea what it's called.
I didn't know she wrote.
She doesn't.
Oh, it's a TV television
series.
Oh, okay.
I like it.
It's not Kathy Bates sitting on the TV reading something to you?
No.
Okay.
And then Elsbeth is another detective I like. And I watch Will Trent. And the FBI, that's all I watch. I watch all 3 FBIs because I like to see people figure something out.
Okay. I thought you were going to say I like to see people get arrested.
No, but you have to, if you describe something in a crime and it's not correct, and somebody's husband or wife or somebody's a cop, they'll email you and say they didn't do that. They couldn't do that. That's against the law.
Well, even my brother Brian and I, we were, so there's, of my brothers, 5 of us were in the military. And there are a lot of military movies out there and TV shows and all kinds of stuff. And the ones that try to be, like, really serious about it will message each other and be like, yeah, that doesn't happen. Like, I had to step out, like, detach my brain, even though they were trying to be real serious in how they approached their military, whatever. I had to be like, okay, that's not accurate.
Well, the other day, you know who Marguerite is? Marguerite Stever. Steven?
Yeah.
Okay. She's in my critique group. Man, I'm reading my part of my new book. Not the ones at the editors, but my new Arizona Summers book. And I said that since the policeman or the chief of police is the one that got arrested, that the highway patrol has to investigate. And I said, but the state police were there. She said, there's no state police in Missouri. I said, really? She said, no, it's a sheriff. We don't have state police. We have troopers, and we have sheriff, and we have local police. So I went back and changed it all. See, if I hadn't been in that critique group, I would have put it out wrong because I didn't know.
Yeah.
Apparently, if you have state police, you don't have troopers. I don't know. But anyway, Missouri doesn't have state police. They have
Highway patrol.
highway patrol.
Yeah.
Anyway, things you learn as you go along.
Well, little things like something I point out a lot, even if I just say it in my head, where I'm like, little details. Go watch any military movie there is, and watch how many times people, especially if they're in dress uniform, and they walk into a building, and it's a captain or a colonel or something like
They
that,
leave their hat on.
and they leave their cover on, or like you get hammered on that forever. And it doesn't matter what your rank is. You walk into a building with your cover on, somebody's going to be like, is your head cold? Like the only time, like per military regulation, there are limited times. Like one of the few times is if you're going in armed, as in like you're doing some kind of police action, like military police or something like that, you leave your cover on. Like, so if you're going to arrest somebody, like, but there are very few times where, as someone in the military, you walk into a building, even if it's an outdoor thing with a cover over it,
Right.
you take your hat off, you take your cover off.
I didn't know that either.
I'm like, so every movie, Tom Cruise is commander, whatever, and he's walking through the building, and I'm like, he shouldn't have that should be tucked under his arm. He should be carrying it right there under his arm. You know, you can't fold the dress hat up, put it under his arm.
Now, see, I would have never known about state police. I did know that if a policeman in your area does something wrong, the highway patrol is the one that investigates it. I did know that.
Yeah.
But it's amazing. Critique groups are great, I think.
Yeah.
And I have some really good people in mind. So, I like
Yeah. Well, we've talked about but we haven't
we
gotten
do ours
roped
on
in.
we do ours on Zoom because we all live so far away.
We have the from the Writers Guild. There's a speculative fiction group, so we get some feedback from people there. But it's a little bit different with like several people in
What
the
is
critique group.
speculative fiction?
It's anything that's fantasy, science fiction,
Horror.
Maybe that's basically it. Science fiction, fantasy, and horror.
So mine's not really fantasy. My new one's a cozy mystery with a twist.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure why they call it speculative fiction.
I've never looked it up.
I never knew what it was. I just sit there quietly when they do that. Listen, anybody staying for this speculative fiction thing? And I go, I don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's primarily fantasy.
Is it?
Yeah.
But it covers
It does cover.
it covers all the genres of like the similar genres from a fantasy perspective. Dark fantasy, high fantasy, you know,
Science
the-
fiction.
yeah. Anything fantastical like that falls
Yeah.
under the speculative fiction umbrella.
So is that what yours is?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's but it's different. Are you in any of the individual groups from the Writers Guild?
No.
Yeah, so it's different than a critique group. I mean, we do critique each other's stuff, but there's different topics we talk about and whatnot, and different things we get together on. Whereas I've heard positive stuff on critique groups from people, like learning that there aren't state police in Missouri.
It's a little thing, but it makes a big difference if you're reading it
Yeah,
or you're listening to it, and you know, like her husband's a cop, so she knows.
yeah,
And I'm glad she told me. But there's a lot of things. I was in medicine for a while. I was an X-ray technician, but I was on the trauma team for 7 years, and so I know things that most X-ray technicians don't do because all I did was press a NAMFU duck bag.
Yeah.
But you're there, listening and watching and all of it.
yeah.
And I learned a lot of stuff, and I think they can't do that. You can't do that. So it's nice to have somebody that knows what they're talking about to guide you along.
So did you ever watch the TV show House or Scrubs or
No.
ER, I think is another
No.
one. None of those hospital shows.
No. On Wednesday night,
You'd
we
probably
have all
be
those
going
shows.
cringing, biting your nails the whole time
I
out of
like
frustration.
I like Chicago PD, but I don't ever watch it. I mean, I just had a binge thing with all this rain, and our backyard, was like a sponge. I couldn't go out to the studio. I couldn't do anything except pretty much stay in the house. And so I binge watched Yellowstone,
Mhm.
and I didn't realize I'd watched so much of it, but I dreamed about it.
You dreamed about Yellowstone or Kevin Costner?
No, about horses. I was riding horses, and this person got killed, and this person got killed. They were violent. Those people were violent.
Yeah.
And so it's like I watched Magnificent. Remember Magnificent Seven?
Mm-hmm.
I watched that movie and didn't sleep for 3 nights because it was so real back then. The blood squirting out. So I don't like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I just don't. I'm not a violent person. I could be.
Did you take anybody? Did anything spark out of watching Yellowstone that you're like, wait a minute, I want to write a Western, a cozy Western?
I tried to write a Western because I was raised in Alton, Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a piesaw bird on the,
A what?
I'm going to tell you, it's a piesaw bird. It's part bird, part reptile, part dragon. Look it up. Piesaw bird.
Piesaw bird.
Piesaw bird.
This sounds like speculative fiction.
And it lives in the Mississippi River. And it terrorized the Indians. Well, who found it was Lewis and Clark. Okay, they found it, and it was up on a. It's always been on the bluffs in Alton, down the River Road, until I don't know. I don't know if somebody tried to hurt it or what. But anyway, now they got it on a post on a billboard type thing.
Okay, yeah, I've seen that.
Piesaw bird. And so I was going to write a book about a kid that came from there and how he walked across Illinois and all the stuff he did. And I just lost interest in it. I mean, I like the piesaw bird. I think it's cool. But it
You
would
just
come
have
out
to
of
figure out the kid's walking, and somewhere along the way he murders somebody, and then,
yeah. I kill a lot of people. That's for a nonviolent person.
You know, there's something about, I don't know if it's just part of the creative process or if it's part of a dynamic that helps move story along. We kill a lot of people too.
Yeah.
Kill a lot of people.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's
You pretty much have to. The thing that stops you in cozy mysteries is I didn't get published by one traditional publisher because I didn't kill my people soon enough. They wanted them dead in the first chapter.
yeah,
Well, and you read the Wedding Cake Murder. I had to build up to killing her. I had to build up. You just don't find somebody in a lake drowned and then go back and all the things she did. So I had her do all the things as we went along in the third chapter. And they said, "No, you have to move that to the first chapter." And I said, "No, thank you."
yeah.
So I didn't publish it.
That's
But
you write it, and then the start of your next chapter. The title is 3 weeks earlier.
yeah, yeah, I don't like those either. But I don't think I guess I don't like rules that are in concrete.
Yeah,
You can't change them. Because I don't think I've ever killed anybody in the first chapter, except the book I'm writing now, the new Arizona Summers.
yeah. I
Somebody
think
gets
there's
killed in
things
the
like
first-
we've read through. There's some things. We've talked a lot recently about things that are there's prescriptive and proscriptive, where you're trying to write to something or you're trying to apply rules to something. I'm like, there's so many different stories out there, so many different ways of writing and telling things. I think the biggest thing is that enjoy what you write. Like, write the story that you want to read. And there can be some rules apply, but
Right. I think
there's a fantasy series I'm re-listening to right now. It's called the Malazan Book of the Fallen. And it's the Malazan Empire and fall of nations and cities and stuff to them, and it's magic and like this whole world. Well, you read the entire first book, and it's long. It's a big book. It's, I don't know, the book itself 600-800 pages, something like that. Well, you don't know what the characters. You don't know the background. You don't know their goals. You don't know what any of their trajectories are for any of them at all. You just get dropped at the beginning of the book. Bloop, you're dropped into the middle of a scene with a bunch of people you don't know and a world you don't know. And it's like, you are not fed anything. It's just the story moves.
is it good?
Yeah, it's very well written. Very well written. On almost, if you go look at fantasy, high fantasy, it's almost always in the top 10, ranked in the top 10 on almost every fantasy
Really?
list that's out there. But some people really don't like getting dropped into a world and not knowing what's
I don't
going
think
on
I would like it
at all.
I don't know. I don't know if I would.
But
or not.
some people do.
See, I could write a book in the middle of Grand Central Station, and none of those people would bother me.
Yeah.
But I can't. I really can't stand noise. I really can't stand noise, and I didn't realize how bad I was until my kids got grown, and they couldn't stand noise either. And I thought we must have been really quiet
Yeah.
because I can't stand background noise. Say, people have their TV on all day. If you're not going to watch it, would you please turn it off? Because it drives
Do you
me
sleep with a
crazy.
fan on
No.
or anything? No ambient noise?
I sleep with 2 miniature dachshunds, and they're so funny. One of them lays on this side, one of them lays on this side, and I can't turn over. Jacob, Marley, and Chili.
Those are some quite different
Well,
names for.
Chrissy Willis gave me Jacob Marley. He was already named,
Okay.
and I had Chili Dog. I had Diggity Dog. I was going to have Chili Dog and Coney Dog,
Yeah.
but Coney turned out to be Jacob Marley. He was 2 when I got him, and I didn't want to change his name.
Yeah.
He's the dumbest dog ever made.
Hopefully he's not listening to this and
No,
gets upset.
he's the cutest dog you've ever seen. Either. But dachshunds are a breed of their own, I'll tell you.
So they don't. If you're writing, do they interrupt you or anything? Barking? Do they create background noise that
They
distracts
love
you? drives
the
you-
studio. They would kill to get to the studio.
Yeah, you
And I
have
don't
an
know
interesting.
why, because all they do is lay on the couch, watch me write. They don't really do anything, but they want to be out there. And right now, the studio, we have a ram that wasn't getting in the grass, and so he's in my studio a lot almost. And so I have to carry one of them out and then carry the other one out. But then if I tell them to stay there, I can go in the house and do stuff and come back. But they don't. You'd think they were going on vacation or something. They just love it, and there's nothing out there.
Well, didn't you have an interesting studio, right?
Yeah.
It's used to be a chicken coop.
No, what happened was there's this book called Backyard Poultry. And I think we had 3 or 4 chickens anyway. I got this book because I didn't know how to raise chicken. And it had these things in it called star steel. They were steel stars. That's what they're called, steel stars. And you put a 2 before here, 2 before here, 2 before here, 2 before here. And then when you put them all together, you had a pentagon.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that's the neatest damn thing. I don't know. I just thought that was so cool. So I bought a set. And then I realized that what they were making was a shed. And I didn't want a shed. I wanted a building.
Yeah.
So then I had to get all my friends together. And we made it with 10-foot 2x4s instead of 8 foot. 12-foot, 2 floors. So the bottom was 10 foot and the top was 20 foot or 12 foot. And so the roof went like this, and then it came down and it was pentagon. So then our Ram decided he didn't like it, and he started butting it. He knocked it almost completely apart. Have you ever had a Ram? They're obnoxious.
Yeah,
anyway, he just kept hitting it. And I said, well, you know, I can't. Well, we had to re-roof everything. And I said, I'm going to have the Amish roof this. And I'm going to find somebody to make a building out of it. Well, I had no idea. They had to lift the roof up and turn it to set it down so it would sit down right. It ended up to be the coolest thing. I'll have to show you a picture. It's the coolest building. I painted it bright, vivid blue. And it's just...
Is it wood outside, metal outside?
Wood.
Okay.
Wood. And I have some wrought iron on it. But it's... if you're on one side of it, it has 3 windows like this. It's almost all glass and on the parts of it.
Gotcha.
And it has a window air conditioner. I heat the whole thing. It's so well insulated. I heat the whole thing with one of those heaters that stands about this high.
Mm-hmm.
You turn it down. It's so hot in there. But those dogs love that.
You didn't paint, when you did it, you didn't paint a big pentagram on the floor
No.
and be like, okay, this is going to help me write.
No.
Give me my voodoo writing skills.
We put it out there because at that time we have an orchard, and at that time we had the orchard open.
Mm-hmm.
And hi, we're from Kansas City, we're going to come down. Hi, we're from here, we're going to come down. You can do anything. We don't have it open anymore because we're older and we've had some some physical problems, and it's too hard to keep it going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then no matter what you tell them, do not let your kids climb this tree. So it got so that we took them out in golf carts.
Yeah.
You know, you can have a golf cart. Don't go any higher than the seat on the golf cart. You stand on a golf cart seat, no more. But
Apple orchard or variety?
apples, pears, peaches, plums, and Asian pears.
Nice.
We have 6 varieties of apples. But it's just in disarray now because I couldn't do it for so long, and there's too much other stuff to do, taking care of all the other stuff that you never got it done either. So
Yeah.
I liked it when I did it, but I have too many metal parts now
Yeah.
to do what I used to do.
Plus you got 5 more books to write.
Yeah.
So
I like to write. To me, it's cathartic. I could just. But what gets me is how fast the time goes.
yeah.
And there's always another book to be written, in my opinion.
Yeah.
There's always another idea. I've never had an idea problem.
Me neither.
Yeah. I don't know if that means we're warped or that means we're good.
Yeah.
But I never have a problem with ideas.
I have too many ideas. That's the problem. I have too many things that I come up with.
I have too many things I'm interested in.
Yeah.
I collect coins and I sell coins. You know. I don't have enough time. I have too, I end up with lots and lots of dollars worth of change. And I had it in the studio, which we don't lock. So then I brought it in the house, and I've been going through it. And if we made as many mistakes as the mint makes, we'd be fired. But the mint just, every coin that's worth anything is a mint mistake.
Yeah.
But my grandpa left me his collection was 9. I've been doing it ever since. But I really like it. And then I like to paint pictures.
Yeah.
And I don't have time to do that. I bought a bunch of canvases, but I've never used one of them.
So if you just put it all together
And my father and I made furniture together, so I can make furniture. I just don't, it's just not enough hours.
you just got to figure out a way that you can work on furniture while you're painting and be narrating a book.
Yeah.
And then go outside and use the furniture you just built and painted to climb up and trim the bushes and everything.
Nobody
or trim
wants
the trees
me to
keep your orchard.
Nobody wants me to narrate their books. I sound like a whiskey drunk. And I used to get
Well, there's a reason we have a lid on your cup. We didn't want anybody to know that, but
I have been places and I've had people come up to me and they say, I can't remember your name, but I've heard you talk before. And I think, is that good? Is that bad? Because my voice is so distinct and I can't get it any higher.
yeah.
I never have been able to.
Hey,
People call me sir on the phone, I just let it go.
I don't know. I don't think I don't think I would. I don't know. I haven't talked to you on the phone, so
I sound like a guy,
I don't know.
but I don't really care.
Maybe it's because I know you, and so
Mm.
I don't know.
But people don't look at, that's another thing about my book. People don't look at you. When you go into a convenience store or something, they don't look at you.
Mm.
They listen to your voice and then they say, sir. And they look on and go, oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. And I say, it doesn't bother me one way or the other. Just give me the soda.
Yeah.
But people don't. I used to tell my kids this. Do not be self-conscious because people are more worried about how they look than how you look.
Yeah.
So just go be yourself.
I just walk around and pretty much anything I do, I'm just like, anybody who saw me do that is like, wow, he did that the best. Like, I just walked up these stairs. If somebody saw me, they'd be like, he's the best stair walker on the planet. That was amazing.
It's fun. But people are, I grew up. We went outside and we came in when the street lights came on. You never had to worry about who was going to kidnap you or, We stole a police car one time because her friend's dad was on the police, and he kept telling us never leave your keys in your car. But he'd go in somewhere, he'd leave the car running, so we'd take it, park it around the block, until he really got mad one day because he got called out and we couldn't find his car. But I mean, we did things like that, and
Yeah.
But you went to movies together. Now you watch them at home. You went to where everybody went to the library on Saturday. It's like we're separatists now.
Yeah.
And I'm not. Every family is a separatist, in my opinion. There's very, very few people who are in neighborhoods anymore that do things. You live in the middle of nowhere. I live in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, I like it, but I mean,
Yeah.
we're not social beings like we used to be. And fear comes from not understanding the other person, which is why there's so many factions, because the gays don't understand the straights don't understand the blacks don't understand the Japanese, and it just keeps going like that when we're all the same, and we don't take the time to be social anymore. We're all separate doing our own thing.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a lot different than, I mean, even when I was growing up.
Yeah. We used to ride our bicycles everywhere.
Yeah.
Put a baseball card in a
Yeah, put them in the spokes,
put them in spokes.
or run over a soda can, and if you crunched it just right, it would come up over the back of the tire, and hit the Y over your back tire, and then when you rode, it would be like brrrr, get the same effect as the baseball card.
Well, there's another reason that I like to read is every Saturday afternoon we had to give our dad a book report.
Really?
Yeah.
Written or oral?
Oral.
Okay. So no, he wasn't making you
No.
sit down and write pages out.
He had like 10 books. You'd go to the library and get 10 books. You could pick one of those 10. There's 3 of us, so my brother always wanted to get the one he wanted. But they were always good books. I mean, I didn't mind, but he was formidable, and to stand up there in front of him scared me to death.
Yeah.
It used to just scare me.
I
But
saw.
I did learn to, I learned to respect reading.
Yeah. I saw something that somebody put out and said, I can't remember what they paid their kid, but they told him, like, all right, for every book you read, I'm going to give you X amount of dollars. And, it was like their kid was like 11, 12, something like that. They're like, so they dove in, they are reading, they're going to the library, want to go to the library and get books constantly. And the kid kind of comes across like it's a challenge. How much money can I get? And they're like, so far they paid like so many, like a couple $100. And they're like, this is the best couple $100 I've ever invested.
Right.
Like, my kid doesn't realize that yet.
We paid our kids to go to school.
Yeah.
we paid them, they got an allowance but to go to school.
Yeah.
And I think my daughters were both in high school before they figured out that college wasn't required. Because we used to tell them, you go to grade school, you go to junior high, then you go to high school, then you go to college.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Molly was like junior in high school, and she came and she said, you don't have to go to college. I go, really? I thought you did. Of course they both did, but I think priorities.
I'm pretty sure there's a rule.
Pretty sure priorities have changed so much.
Yeah.
I wish everybody read some more books.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, I wish everybody read
Wish everybody
my
read.
books.
Yeah, I want everybody to read my books. So I don't know.
Well, Susan, we've kind of gone all over the place, but that's
do?
the nature. That's how we do it. So we appreciate you coming and joining with us today.
I enjoyed it.
Where can people find you? I mean, your books are on Amazon. Are there any places else, anywhere else you want to send people?
You can get them anywhere. We're print on demand is what.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to the library and ask for it, they'll get it for you. If you go to Barnes & Noble and ask for it, they'll get it for you.
Okay.
It's on, I'm on iTunes. I'm on Kobo.
Do you have a website?
Yeah, SusanKeeneAuthor.com.
Susan Keene, and it's Keene.
Keene.
Okay.
And my tagline is High Heels and Homicide.
High Heels and Homicide. What about the murder? What's the wedding cake? The bakery one. Does that have a tagline too?
No, my whole tagline
The
for
whole
everything
tagline
is
is
high Heels and Homicide.
High Heels and
Because
Homicide.
all of my protagonists are going to be women.
Mm-hmm.
I sometimes have a hard time writing from a male point of view. Because I'd want the guy to be the way I wanted him to be, not the way guys really are. So.
Hey, it'd be
So,
all different perspectives, right?
right. But anyway, I have a website, and I don't get to do as much as I want on it, but
That's the nature of.
yeah.
You just got to cut back on painting.
I
Put
haven't
that time
painted-
toward
I haven't painted a picture.
toward
in-
your.
I bet I haven't painted a picture in
website.
5 years. My granddaughter is a painter, and so I keep stuff around there so we can do things.
Yeah.
But I've enjoyed it. I hope you don't have to cut too much of it out.
Nope. We usually don't cut. We just whatever we get, that's what we get. So.
Yep.
Right. Well, thanks for coming with us.
You're welcome.
And
Anytime.
for those listening, still hanging in there with us, we appreciate you coming along for the ride, and we'll see you next time. So till then, go in good spirits. Thanks for listening to the Creators Guild podcast. Don't forget to get your copy of A Flight from Shadows, available on Amazon. While you're there, please rate it and give it a review. If you like the Creators Guild, please like and subscribe, and make sure to share it with your friends. Until next time, go in good spirits.